moving along, we talked about Florida State. Let's go ahead and move on to this game, Chris. Florida hosted Texas on Saturday, and look at that. The Gators treated those Longhorns as bait. You see it. If you're clicking in on the show, folks, you probably saw the thumbnail, Gator bait. And those Longhorns, they were the bait. 29-21 was your final in this ball game, Chris. DJ Lagway had a great day, and this defense from Florida, this whole team from Florida, just showcases that they have talent. And when they're put in the position to win, that they're a really good football team, Chris. What were your thoughts over this victory from Florida on Saturday?
Well, in our preview show, we brought up this game and how Florida will win. And it played out the way I anticipated. Um, the swamp was swamping. Texas was all over the place offensively with the penalties and the running game. The rushing attack is just absent. MIA on a milk carton, missing. We're looking for the run game in Texas. This is a team that's just very heavily reliant on the passing attack. And Arch Manning, he's not that guy. I don't think he's somebody you can just rely on to just sling the rock down, just play after play. And it's just been tough for Texas to really get in that groove offensively. It's a really good defense, but the offense is really holding this team back. Um, and I think a lot of it has to do with Arch Manning. And for someone who has been sitting in the position behind Quinn Ewers for a couple of seasons, there's a lot of mistakes that I feel like he makes that really shock me as someone who technically a redshirt sophomore, but you're a third year player. We can basically say you're a junior, and he looks very raw, Kory. A lot of protection calls being missed. Texas O line has dealt with a couple injuries, but the kind of pressure that I feel like that is these guys coming through unblocked, I think that falls on the quarterback on calling the protection. And he looks like a rattled, young, confused QB. And it's deeper than just a shoulder injury. This looks like him as a player, the mental aspect of the game. And so Texas looks like funny money, Kory. Texas is in trouble. I think this team ain't going to the playoff at all. I can say that much more confidently than Penn State. Texas is dangerous with how talented they are, but I don't think these guys week in and week out are going to play like they up to their abilities. I think this could be a drag of a year if you're a Longhorns fan. This will be a drag of a year. Matter of fact, this is looking real rough.
Yeah, and that is the scathing quote that I've heard from you, Chris, from everyone. Even around this area, like they don't look at this team the same way as people looked at them in the preseason. And yeah, I was listening to Matt Berry and Paul Feinbaum on their show, Chris, talk about it. And Matt Berry did make a great point in saying all of the expectations going into the preseason honestly was predicated off of the last name of Arch. And when you look at this team, you lost the opener against Ohio State. It's the number one team in the country. Reigning defending national champion. Let's do what we need to do and win the SEC. You lose to Florida. And now, let's say even before that, you were looking terrible against teams like UTEP. You beat up Sam Houston State. You go into this game and you look just as horrible as you did in the UTEP game. I I don't know, Chris. I definitely think you're right. This team is not playoff ready. I know a lot of Texas fans don't want to hear that right now. They do not want to hear that at all. But this team isn't. They aren't playoff ready at all. And yeah, you can look at it and say like, Sark, hung his hat on, wanting to develop these 4 and 5 star high school guys and build them up to make it deep into the playoffs and try to get to a national championship. I think what we're seeing, Chris, and unfortunately, for Texas and their fans, they're seeing that, man, going into the portal, getting some game changers, some guys that can help you along the way, is vital in keeping this team afloat and keeping this team ready for battle each and every week. If you do that, you'll be fine. But relying on a ton of guys fresh out of high school to jail and potentially get you to a national championship, those days are over. Look at Clemson. They got to find that out the hard way. And I think you're about to find that out the hard way as well. This isn't a good Texas team. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Any Texas folks listening in to the show, I think you can also agree as well. And it's unfortunate. And if you're Sark, that's just what you got to live with going forward this season. And it's not going to get any easier as the season progresses.
No, no, you got the Red River Shootout next. Whether Oklahoma has John Mateer back or not, I don't think matters. um, you had trouble against this Florida defense as a really good unit. Good luck against Oklahoma's, who's one of the best units in the nation. That's their bread and butter. And if they got John Mateer back, I don't care if he's rusty or not. Give me a rusty Mateer over this Arch Manning every day, 7 days a week. So it's not looking easy at all by any means. And you have a lot of work to do. And there's a limited time to make it all come together. So this might be that down year, Kory. It's everybody catches one. No matter how good the program is, there's going to be that year where you don't meet expectations. For some programs, it might be lower than others. Or some other programs down year might not be as bad as others. Georgia had a down year and still made a playoffs last season. Um, Alabama had a 9-4 down year last year if you include the bowl loss to Michigan. The way the SEC is looking, your down year could be 7-8 wins this year. It's not easy. It's not easy out here. So we'll see. We're about to learn a whole lot about Sark. He's had things rolling since he's got the pieces, you would say, since they've hit the recruiting trails as well as they have. But sometimes you miss on evals, and guys aren't as good as you thought they were when they came onto campus. So now we're really about to find out about this Texas team and Coach Sark and his staff, because I hate to say it, man, there's still time with Arch, but he ain't got that green gem by his scouted out profile right now, Kory. It's looking like that red ruby at the moment.
With the X on it in the front.
Yeah, it's looking a little bustish, but there's still some time to write the story to right the ship, and we'll see what happens. But it ain't looking good right now, man. It ain't.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely isn't looking good right now. If you're a Texas fan, and I think it starts with a lot of things. We can say Arch, and Arch is definitely something. Is he's definitely a topic of discussion and why they aren't where they need to be at right now. But that offensive line as well, Chris, stinky. Who knew? This is the team that has an NIL fund just for offensive linemen. Just let that be be known. And this is what they tried out on the field. Like, hey, no wonder
It's bad. It's
it's bad.
bad. So you got Oklahoma next. I feel like you still have to go to Mississippi State.
Yes,
Um,
and that's
there's a
not
few
easy.
more. It ain't. It ain't. And to piggyback on your point about the portal, I mean, you look at all the teams that hit the portal hard this offseason, they are in solid shape. Texas Tech, it's right there undefeated. LSU has their flaws, but still in the mix. Uh, who else was another big player in the portal? Miami hit the portal hard as well. We see how the dividends is paying off with that.
Yeah,
There's a lot of teams that hit the portal hard. Florida State was in the portal and has had success this year.
yeah,
Um, you're gonna have to hit that portal. Got to hit that portal, Jack.
absolutely. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to hit the portal because it it can get ugly. It definitely can get ugly before um, it gets better if you don't. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. A lot of football left to be played, Chris. But I think if you're Texas, this is the team that you have, and that's just the way it's going to be. If you're a Texas fan,
Yeah, and if you're Florida, Billy Napier, you live to fight another day. Word to the water boy, live to fight another day. Um, I think the inevitable is still going to happen. Personally, you just might be able to see the season through. But it just goes to show though, this team, like you said, Florida doesn't quit. They keep playing very hard for Billy Napier. He may not be the best with the X's and O's at Florida because his offense has had its struggles, but the guys don't quit, and there is talent. And when you have don't quit and talent, you don't have to necessarily be the best at X's and O's. You can still find ways to win just because you got really good players playing very hard for you. And with this true freshman wide receiver that they inserted into the lineup, he looks to be a difference maker. And Florida just got a whole lot more dangerous with him on the field. I ain't saying the Gators are going to win out, Kory, but don't be surprised if they are right there, giving everybody their worst, toughest game of the season. 'Cause Florida's just it's just a tricky team, man. They really can play with anybody.
they really can. They really can. And look, Billy Napier, he can play with any booster, in Florida as well. You think you counted me out yet? No, I'm still around. I'm gonna stay around. You'll never get rid of me. You gotta love it.
Yeah, yeah. That's I'm sure that's how he feels. If they can find a way to win 8 games, Kory, I think he might get got if they go 7-5 or 6-6. If he can find a way to get 8 games, I think 8 is that threshold where you can look. You be like, "Come on now, look, I got us 8. One more, we in the playoff. 9-3 in the SEC, we are a playoff team. You gotta give me another year or two."
Look, I've already said it, Chris, and I will say it again. I think that there will be a 3-loss team in the 12-team playoff this season. It's crazy to think that Florida can become a 3-loss playoff team, but hey, they win the games they need to win. They just keep winning. Why not? Put them in there.
They went out. That means they beat Georgia. Am I mistaken? Don't they have Tennessee on the schedule? Do they have Tennessee on?
I think so. Let me check. Let me check. Just for the
They
people
got,
at,
and they
at
got
home.
Florida State.
So
They got some games that definitely boost that resume.
yes, they do. So yeah, they have Tennessee, and that's after going to Ole Miss. Let me tell you something, Chris. If they go on a run, look, coming up this week, we'll talk about this game. They got to go to College Station. I think they're good enough to go toe to toe with the Aggies. You know, the Aggies is as good as they looked this past Saturday against Mississippi State. This is a penalty riddled team. I think if you're Florida, if you're Billy Napier, capitalize off of that. You get that win in College Station, huge win, and then you take on Mississippi State. That game's at home. Got the cocktail party. You take care of Georgia. You're starting to cook because then you got Kentucky at Ole Miss, and then the other two games against Tennessee, Florida State are both at home. You handle your business, Chris.
It's tough. That's tough.
Watching Florida football might be pretty interesting heading into November.
Schedule. That's a tough slate of games right there. I'm not anticipating them going 9-3, like winning out. But if they do, you got it. That team is a playoff team. They went out, and Billy Napier, his job is secure. But we'll sit back and watch, see how it all plays out. My goodness, that's a tough schedule though. But they can win all of those games. Crazy it is to say, they can win all those games, Kory.
Yeah, I think so too. So yeah, man, we're gonna see what's gonna happen, Chris. I'm excited. Just seeing that makes me excited about Florida football again. Who knew?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we will definitely see what happens indeed. But yeah, this game was interesting. We thought it was going to be an interesting ball game, and boy, it delivered.